Last year was all about making the room strong. It wasn't about making an individual strong. So I wanted to make have a 4 or 5 safeties that can play in a football game, than to have one safety with experience. Because I had guys like Aaron Williams that never really played a whole full season here in Nebraska, broken up. I want to keep Aaron Williams healthy for the stretch. I had guys like Antonio Reed and kind of sat behind a little bit, never really been a true starter here, you know. And I had a guy I brought with me from UCF that knows it all right, that can get those guys, teach those guys, help me teach those guys the culture, and kind of. So I had Deontay, the athletic one, new. He learned the defense, so I can put him and let him learn as much as he can from those guys. Plug him in the game when I need him, get him experience, and then you know. And I also had JoJo, and I was banged up a little bit, and we need to get him on the field wherever we could, and so I had a bunch of guys that, you know, needed to see the field, and I just tried my best to get those guys in the game every game, and just mute.
Do you anticipate there'll be less rotation there or less chaos there?
I hope not. I honestly hope not. I hope my freshmen can come in and make it and be impacts. I think I got. Matter of fact, I'm really, you know, I don't want to. You know, I don't want to be too positive, you know, before it happens. But, you know, I really like my freshmen. I really do. And I think those guys are very talented. And they're not skinny, bony guys. You know, they do have to get stronger. But they're not like, it's not like those guys haven't been in the weight room. So they've been in the weight room. And, I got Miles Farmer is already probably my biggest safety right now. And I got Quentin Newsom is also a big one. I got Noah Polar Gates is a little bit more. He's a little smaller than those guys, but he's more explosive. So I got some guys. What I really, you know I don't want to have 2 safeties playing a game. I want to have 5. I want to have 5. I want to have 5 or 6.
Coach, Lamar and DiCaprio were talking about the DB room that you had to turn in your phones. Is that something that
they told you that?
Yeah, he did. Is that something that was your call? Whose call was that? And how's it working out so far?
I hope I don't get in trouble. 100% mine, though.
Was it really?
Yeah, 100% mine. No phones in the room. Put your phone. They can bring it in, no problem. But when they come in the room, sit your phone in a basket. I don't touch it. It's theirs. You know. But it's time to learn. You know, it's time to learn. And, you know, the reason why I thought about it is because I just be watching TV and I watch everybody, and and I got kids, and my daughters be on the phone all the time and can't teach them nothing. And so here's a time where I bet you it was somewhere in the season where I made a comment 4 or 5 times and somebody missed it because I got a little text in real quick. You know, and that's the little small part, the little detailed stuff, and me being in the league and just me being an adult, you know, me understanding this, the small stuff. And sometimes, you know, I say things and I got to get going, and I need you to remember it. I need you to write it down. And I know that phone is, mom is calling, and, you know, girlfriend is texting, and, you know, you got a family back home and want to know how you're doing and stuff like that, and it's not the time to text them back. You know, so those 30 minutes going to win us a championship. You know, I believe that, and so I need my whole 30.
Was it met with any pushback, or was everybody
Nope.
pretty? Yeah.
Nope, I don't get much pushback. I don't get pushback. I don't get pushback. No, I don't get pushback. So I get like the blank stare, like, are you serious? But you know, once you know, they do it, no problem.
So it just happened. This rule, just to be clear.
First meeting.
First meeting.
Yep.
Was that this past week then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Where have you seen Cam Taylor kind of grow, even just the off season? I know that you were really excited about him last year when he got here and the way that he carried himself and he handled himself, and he obviously went through as a true freshman and played in a bunch of games for you. Where did you see him kind of maybe improve over the winter, going through his first winter?
He's gotten bigger. He's definitely stronger. Cam is very physical. You know, I have problems with, you know, knowing where to place Cam. You know, he can be a safety, elite one, and he can be the same thing at corner, which is a good problem. But Sometimes, Cam makes plays at corner, and you're like, man, Omar, it's going to be tough, or DiCaprio, it's going to be tough. And sometimes you go to safety and you make the same play. And I'm like, this music, it's going to be tough, So just having Cam in the room, he's also a born leader. He's great to have in the room. He was like that as a true freshman. I give a lot of credit to his mom and dad. I think I made that comment before. I give a lot of credit to his mom and dad. They've done a great job with him.
When you have a guy like that can play multiple spots, I mean, he obviously played mostly corner or in the slot last year, but do you think about changing him permanently, or do you just teach him all of them? And I mean, when does the decision ultimately have to be made about sort of how you're going to use
I think
it?
as he learn a lot, let him go right now. As he learn a lot, he'll find home. As he learn a lot at safety, he's learn a lot at corner, he's going to find home somewhere on the defense, and he's going to be real good at it. Just right now, you give him 6 plays and 3 at safety and 3 at corner. It's hard to figure it out.
Yeah.
But let's credit to Cam and what he's done in the weight room. He's a redshirt freshman. He's true. Sophomore.
Yeah.
He's sophomore. So, him being a young kid, he's not young anymore. He's played, a lot. And then, I also want to get him in the game a whole lot. But that thing is very competitive in the room. So there's no starters, guys. I don't know if that question is coming up later, but there's absolutely no starters. I made that comment today. They told you that. I don't know if they told you. They told you about the phone. They didn't tell you. I told them nobody starts. So let's start the meeting off that way. Let's learn. Let's get better. Let's be brothers. Let's compete. But let's figure it out.
Does it get the sense that they also know that there's four more guys coming this summer, and that now's the time to sort of?
Yep. It's going to be very competitive, guys. I want it to be very competitive. I'm going to make it be very competitive. Some guys not going to like me, because of it, but it's going to be very competitive in the room. That's what makes that secondary room a great secondary room. That's what made it okay last year, my opinion.
How much more of a competitive nature did your guys bring this year as opposed to maybe 12 months ago?
How much what?
How much more of a competitive nature are they bringing to the room and to the field this year as opposed to 12 months ago from what you've seen?
Yeah, everything we do is competitive. Everything. Every single thing. Here's my deal. I'm trying to make those guys compete when they're not in the building, like I used to do with Asante Samuel. And when me and him went to school together, we was roommates. We competed on everything. Every single thing. I mean, outside of football, I'm trying to make these guys compete when they're not around me and not around the coaches. Who can get the most sleep? The craziest thing. You know what I'm saying? Be competitive in everything you do. Always be ready when you're called out. And that's how I learned. I was always ready when I was called out. I was always called out. I was always ready when I was called out. And just bringing that to the secondary, when I first got here, it was kind of shaky, but then they bought onto it once they figured out, ain't no slipping by this one. You're going to have to compete for that job, and you're going to have to compete every day to keep it. And so it is what it is now in the room. They know.
In the offseason, did you have to weigh some opportunities of coaching other places versus sticking around here?
What you say?
Did you have to weigh any opportunities of coaching somewhere else versus sticking around here?
I don't really, this is how I'm really like this. I get those questions a lot. I want to be where I'm at, and I'm not going anywhere unless I decide to go somewhere. But everybody will know. But when I'm in the off season or when I'm doing it, I got my kids, and I want to be a dad. You know what I'm saying? And if I want to go fish and I got a day off, I'm going to fish. I'm not on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those guys, so I'm not a fake guy. I'm a real guy. I'm not going to shoot a text while I'm throwing the line out, and I'm not really worrying about the text. I'm just doing it. You know, I'm not shooting a text when I'm throwing the line out. You know, and I want people to know that about me. You know, and I don't know. It might be good, might be bad, but it's the truth. You know, so no, I'm 100%. I don't worry about any of that stuff in the off season, man. I'm just, you know, I just hope I don't get fired, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just about as normal as possible. I want to be here, and I just hope I don't get fired, and I'm working my butt off every day. So.
You think kids appreciate that? Like I mean, there's coaches out there. Some of it's genuine. They're on Twitter all the time. You think the kids that you recruit, they sort of like the fact that maybe it's a little more low key. I'm sure you're in touch with them a lot, but
because I recruit the ones that understand it. The ones that understand it are the ones that gonna understand me. I'm gonna understand them. And I say, hey, let's go do this. They're gonna go do it. I'm not gonna have to go back and forth trying to get a kid to go compete, because he's gonna know it from the get-go. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna have a diva type kid that, needs me to call him 5 times a day, and, so it kind of works hand in hand with how I recruit kids and stuff like that. But, I'm just an old school guy. I be honest with you, the Twitter thing, I really like it, but I just don't know how to do Twitter that good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really on it. I'm on it, but one time I try to make this cool tweet, and I was retweeting somebody else's stuff, and I was just, everybody like, oh, Fish, you did that? I was like, oh, let me get off this thing. I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm just about as normal as grits, man. Twitter is just, I love it, but I'd rather for a kid, I'll tell kids this. Most every kid I recruit, I tell kids this. I would love to tweet you, but I would rather for you text me and me text you, just like we're family. Call me anytime on the phone, text me anytime on the phone, I hit you right back. But Twitter, I might miss you.
Yeah.
And I know that's where the game, the coaching kind of going towards the Twitter way with these kids. But I'm not trying to look on the deal and see, oh, I've just received my 100th offer. It really doesn't matter to me, so I don't get on it. Really, I'm on it, but I'd rather for you text me, and I'm gonna text you.